All right. Welcome everybody. Special episode today because we're interviewing young Zach Facts.
What up?
Damn. Smooth God in the building. Bonafide Queens here. And we have Jesse the A&R.
Hey, Zach Facts in the building, Rapt Media. You know, first off, I got a little gift for you.
Oh, shit.
I love
What do we
gifts.
got here? Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
what? That's
So-
Wow.
So this is a one-of-one Wasted Youth Low Life Custom.
What? Low Life?
This is to commemorate to Zach Facts, to commemorating 600 million on the future.
Six
and
hundred
wow, that's
million.
crazy.
on the weekend Low Life video,
600
care of
million, you hear
Wasted
that?
Youth, one of one.
That's crazy.
So, you know, that's for, you know, it's a lifelong, that's just an award for your lifelong work and commemorating 600 million. You know, shout out Zach Facts. We got a legend in the building, Rapt Media.
That's
Let's
what's
go.
up. Thank you, bro.
You know, we'll hang that up. We'll hang that up for you. But
Shout
yeah,
out Wasted
absolutely.
Youth, man.
You know, like the
Wow.
first thing I wanted to get into, you know, is I've seen you grow and I see you at the beginnings of movements. So, you
Yeah.
know, as we were looking through, you know, you're in the beginnings of the Jesse Reyes. You know, I know you were with Tory Lanez from the beginning. You know, now I see your work with the XO. What is it about Zach Facts, do you think, that makes you that guy that they say, I need Zach Facts?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know?
I actually ask myself that every day. But I think the truth is that it's efficiency. Like if I had to narrow it down to one thing, I would say it's the fact that I'm efficient. It's the fact that I can do multiple things. I think that it's a blessing and a curse in the sense that, you know, I would say I suffer from want to do it all. Because
Right.
like I sometimes want to do it all.
Right.
Which isn't healthy. That's not
Right.
always healthy.
Now, do you
but-
think that's because out of necessity or out of your OCD? Like, if I don't put it up, if I don't do everything, it's not going to get done right.
Like
Well,
if you
I
don't do
think-
it yourself, it won't be done right. Type.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of OCD. I mean, I've tried it,
Right.
you know, and don't get me wrong. Nowadays, with these productions, they've changed so much.
Right.
Now I have
How
so
have they
much
changed?
Well, in terms of just like the way it used to be, like you say, why do people want Zach? Because Zach could just roll up with his camera in his hands
Zach's water.
and we'll do it and
And
we'll
do it
make it
all.
work, right?
Right.
So now it's become like, you know, as the scale has sort
Right.
of grown, I've sort of allowed for more help. So it's changed in that sense. It's not just me doing
Right.
every single job.
Now,
Qualified help?
Qualified help, yes.
Now, when you
yeah.
pop into these, do you still roll up? Because I know, you know, when you're dealing with a big budget video, it's a lot different than your regular rapper or whoever. So is it the same feelings when you roll on? Is it just Zach rolls up with his camera?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it depends. I mean, you still get that. I think that, you know, one thing even in this climate, it's sort of resurfaced.
Right.
Like, how much can you do as one person, right? And I think that that's always a challenge I'll be willing to accept.
Right.
But like I said, it's more if there is room for help, then for sure I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for qualified help.
Right.
And
We
and
asked
learn.
this Charlton
I
last
think-
time.
Yeah.
I'm asking about
Charlton
editing,
Visuals.
Yeah,
editing and shooting,
yeah.
and the balance between how much of it you want to do yourself. You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never been one that doesn't like editing. I
Right.
mean, like, you know, for me, it's like I say that.
which
now.
one do you enjoy more?
That's a tough one. I mean, it depends on what the project is. I mean, sometimes the shoots can be very monotonous or boring. Sometimes
Long
they're very
shoots.
long shoots. I don't necessarily mind long shoots. I just mind ones that are, you know,
Energetic. Is there energy on set?
energy or a purpose.
Right.
If there's a
Right.
lack of a purpose.
Right. Like if it's an artist that it's just like got a budget and you know, like this guy's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You're not into it.
Or they're guiding me. They're telling me like,
You hate
know,
that.
we want these sort of things in the video. Or I might pitch an idea and they might be like, well, no one's gonna go for that.
You know, because for me, you know, as a creative director and someone that, you know, hires on help and, you know, his works, I would want you to come and just do whatever the fuck you
Yeah.
want. I want Zach Facts to come and get in
Yeah.
his total creative zone and don't fucking talk to him
Right.
and let you do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, there's still those opportunities. They come up, and those are like my most cherished pieces of work. Like
Mhm.
if you had asked me to show you a video, I would show you those first. The
Right.
ones where
So what was your favorite video then you've Favorite set you've ever been on?
Favorite set I've ever been on.
Yeah.
I mean, they all sort of blur together. I mean, you have to understand in those.
No, 100%.
My favorite sets were the early years. My favorite sets were the ones
grind
where we
year.
were learning and grinding, and there wasn't necessarily so much pressure.
Structure.
Yeah, structure is great, but it also leads into the fact that now I deal with time limits. I deal with budgets, like you said.
Budgets, and then you have, when you deal with a bigger product, there's so many more people that have an idea, and it's like,
Oh yeah, when you introduce labels into the
right,
mix,
when
yeah.
that's another.
What's your motivation like on a yearly basis, right? Like, is it like paying the bills? Is it like?
No, it's not. It's looking for a great story to tell. I mean, for me, I've always kind of said that I'm just maintaining right now in it because like I'm doing well, but it's like it's not where I see myself. My goal is to lock onto a story and tell it. But
You don't think you've done that thus far?
No. I say like 50%, like not even like it's just like for me, it's like feel like I serve a purpose right now for people, and I'm willing to.
I read your Facebook every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So you're like there's a different like third eye thing going on there, right? There's like this level of like
Awareness.
cultural, civilizational frustration, like because the Bell was saying yesterday.
Yeah,
Exactly, huge what happened there? You can't because that's like
because it's so preposterous. It's like, is
What's your
nobody
input?
going to speak
What's
about
your
it?
input? Yeah, that's crazy. What's your input? Let's just talk about this Bellwood thing. Let's get it out the way.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry, the only thing that's really standing out to me the most right now is that like you're on about it being a purpose, right?
Yeah,
it's a purpose for you, and like that's really important for me. And I'm in the more of the business side, so and I work with a lot of creatives, and I have to hire a lot of creatives, and that's super important. You know what I mean? That's where you get to have your outlet and you get to shine for your expertise.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I'm hearing that diversity because I see it. I see it in your work, right?
Well,
so
that's
like,
cool. I'm glad you see.
and I really appreciate
Facts,
that. I
the
see
goat in
that.
the
Yeah,
building.
like it's really nice to see, and like.
That being said, like it is music videos.
It is music videos, yeah. And
You know?
I always say
feel like
music-
you're trying to
Well,
segue into this.
I have a
So
great,
wait,
I have a
wanna-
great
Hold on,
analogy
hold on.
for that. I actually say that doing music videos is like painting caricatures on the boardwalk.
Right.
When you can do portraits.
So that's what I was just about to ask. Like, what was your like gateway into those videos? Like, what was
Yeah.
your creative poison of choice? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I actually went to school to be an audio engineer.
so you went in for audio, not even a visual.
No, but I was always sort of visually active, since I was a kid, since with the VHS, cam, like, where you had to actually, like, use tape. We weren't splicing tape, which is a whole other level.
Amazing,
Like, shout out to the guys who used to splice
Shout out the
tape.
guys.
Shout out
Oh,
to
yeah,
Guys
real
and
shit.
girls, guys and
No,
girls.
like,
No. Over here. Okay, so we have this
It's a little-
gag. Shout out to
It's not a
guys.
gag.
We like
It's not a gag. If you're if you're like a guy, you're one
like
of the
a
guys.
guy.
Like, and when I say that, it's like, hey, it's like, are you an insider or an outsider? Not on like a clout or cool thing. It's like, hey, like, are you one of the guys? If you're one of the guys, you're good. Like, but that guy's not one of the guys.
Yeah.
So when we
Right.
say the guys, it's just like, yo, are you with the shits
It's
or are
the
you like a
general, yeah.
perpetrator
Are
of
you
the?
there?
Taking the
You there or
t-shirt
you
this
ain't?
close.
Yeah. No, I just want to keep it PC. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Tupac or Biggie?
Shout out to the
Oh
guys.
my god!
Yeah, Tupac or
Tupac
Biggie.
or Biggie.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely a Biggie guy. Like
Damn.
All the way.
Yeah,
Damn.
Best
I'm
believe.
definitely in New York hip hop.
East
style,
Coast.
For
beat,
sure, I had
Jadakiss.
Biggie on all
East
up
Coast.
on Friday.
So if you had to do a non-final top 10 rappers, go just off the top, not
10?
final, because top 5.
Oh my goodness.
Top five.
5.
Zach Fac's top 5.
Top 5 is
Man.
actually tougher. Top 10 is actually easier.
And that's
Yeah,
why that's
no,
why I said top 5
definitely.
and non-official. So you're not locked into this.
Jesse, you're a
I just
savage.
feel it's
Non-official's good.
I feel like that's something that requires some thought because I'm gonna say something and be like, damn, why didn't I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
that's
I had
the
it.
But
fun
yeah,
of it.
yeah. So I'm trying. I mean, like for sure, I got. Well, rapper. I mean, he's not a. Well, yeah, I guess
It's hard. Go.
Just shoot. Don't over categorize.
Yeah.
Just straight hip hop, like right off the dome. The
rapper,
first 5 that
hip-hop,
you think
urban.
of that are like
No.
most
You-
influential.
You know what we're doing.
Well, my favorite artists growing up were like Pete Rock.
Damn.
I love Pete Rock.
Pete
Damn.
Rock's dope.
I was more into producers. Like I love DJ Premier.
Okay,
I-
top 5.
Yeah,
producers.
no, DJ Premier, yeah, for sure.
We're always into weird, obscure hip hop. To be honest,
How
we're always
obscure?
looking for like my friend was bringing it up the other day. He was like, "Man, what was that guy from Ohio you used to listen
Oh,
to? There's
shit.
this guy Copyright when we were
Okay.
growing up from
That's
Ohio. It was
hard.
this So we like, but that's just off the top. Like we were always searching for bars. Like my
Right.
thing was like
Bars,
going
guys.
to
Yeah.
HMV, buying a
Who's
CD.
got the hardest bars in Canada?
The hardest bars in Canada?
Let's do it.
That's
Oh,
not bad. You know, I've never really thought of it like that,
Who's
but
got the
I feel
hardest
like that
bars in
could be.
Canada?
What, they have to live here in Canada?
Nah. Just first guy that you think like.
Well, I gotta say Tori. No, I'm joking.
Tori's actually got. He
Fire.
can
He's
rap his
hard-
fucking
he's,
ass
he's
off.
fucking, he's crazy. He's
No, but
crazy.
I'm talking about like hardest bars out.
hardest bar.
Hold on.
We talking Tory Lanez, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Tori. Yeah,
Right,
it was
right.
Tori, yeah.
Shooters, bro.
Shooters,
What
yeah.
happened
Yeah.
there?
Shooters.
Oh, he's a
Crazy.
magician,
Yeah, yeah.
right? He's
So-
a
I can't
magician.
believe somebody at his level could do a song like that. It was so like.
Well, he's
powerful
a
and-
pure creative genius, obviously. You know, when he's writing, and you can tell he's a total star power.
You know, and I think he's smart with his right. Here's what I thought. I'm like, whoa, I can't believe he's putting this out, and all of a sudden he had my attention.
Yeah. What with shooters? you're
Yes.
saying specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, that was always searching for the purpose. Like when he first sent me the song, that's like why the video sort of was gonna contrast.
Right.
Because I was always searching for the purpose. I'm like, is it kind of like you're exaggerating to make a point, or you know, are you really with the shooters right now? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So it's
because
like,
So what was his response?
well, we never settled on. I mean, I think the fact that he allowed me to do a video like that
Right.
sort of explains that his mind works like
Right.
that. Tori's
Right.
he's not one way, right?
no, he's
not
very
gonna-
fluid.
Yeah,
And
so-
I
Yeah.
feel like you have to be that way. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be like water, you know. And I feel like that goes back to why
Good
people-
video, by the way.
Oh,
Love
thank
it.
you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely!
Bless.
Like
Love shooters.
you know, the work is impeccable. You know, and I feel like because your work is impeccable and you can do so much, it's like when guys get in a grind. You know, when Cash gets in a grind, he's like, "Who do we call?" And someone's like, "Trust me and call Zach Fax,"
yeah.
because
it.
you come and make.
Shout out Cash too.
Shout
for
out
all
the guy.
opportunities.
Eh,
Shout out,
absolutely. And you know what? Yeah, I'm working with one of their producers right now. 1K, 1,000.
Yeah, one case fire.
I like
Yeah,
1K.
1K's fire. And you know
Shout out
what?
to producers.
When I'm around, it's a real family oriented vibe. You know, like when you're there and when we again with the guys, you know, it's it's an amazing thing to see where Toronto has come.
Oh yeah.
My
Yeah.
God, from the days of burning CDs out of your computer to having the Raptors as the #1 basketball team, Drake in the weekend, Zach Fax, to see these guys, to see you doing well and to see these guys doing this is just amazing.
Solid local
Right.
heroes,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Absolutely.
Like our local heroes,
Charlton
are so
They
Visuals.
really put
Oh,
us
yeah,
on
we
the
got-
map.
we
You
got
know what
so
I
many,
mean?
yeah.
Like
So many, yeah.
like varied, right? Like in different fields, like
Everywhere.
Again, we were writing questions for a video director we had again, Charlton, and I was like, "What was your cinematic like influence?" I knew
It's like
I was
Zach
hoping
Fax.
for like Wes Anderson, this that. He just sat right and said Zach Fax.
That's crazy.
That was his
Yeah.
Shout out
only
to him.
answer.
Shout out to him.
Shout out,
Yeah.
shout
Yeah,
out
do you know?
Charlton, man.
Have you
And I'm like,
seen
okay,
Charlton?
okay.
Yo, of course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you know his
yeah.
work, yeah.
Yeah, see that love though right there? That's it.
But you can totally see where his inspiration totally came from. Like you can see in his work that he studied your work
Yeah.
and genuinely loves you.
Yeah, well,
You know?
you can
I
see
mean,
like the
there's-
reflection, right? You can see the reflection from his work.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
I think there's so many dope art. Like he's dope. Like I think that's the coolest thing is seeing how that's come, and then even watching them do new things, right? Because
Right.
they're also coming up. They're learning this technology. They're mastering
Right,
it. You know,
right.
I'm kind of old, set in my ways. You know, and,
Right.
and they're kind of pushing the boundaries a bit. So
I think if I had to really put my like little label on it, I think you made the hood cinematic.
though it's cinematic.
That's
Oh,
a good way to
yeah.
explain it.
That's
Definitely.
yeah.
And
That's what I
think
really,
so.
like about your work. I can't tell what I'm
On a more
watching, but it's
creative level.
ultra like tight. Just,
Yeah.
I
uh,
appreciate
know?
it. Yeah.
it's like visually, it's very exceptional. Like no, when you see it, when
and I
you
wonder what effect that has on an industry, right? Like that's what's so crazy because like I could sit here and talk about, okay, well look at who Zach worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Zach? We've worked on so many artists together. We've actually done multiple Roy Woods videos together that
Straight
never
up,
even
yeah.
came out.
Exactly.
Remember?
Yeah, I was saying, yeah. What was
Like-
that? That record was fire.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Did that
Uh,
ever? That came out, right?
All of
Just
You?
tell me. Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
that.
All of
came
your
out.
I got everything's out. Depending on which.
Yeah, it probably can't. I can't. I'd have to go back. It's still on my Vimeo.
Is it the one we did on
the
in
apartment?
apartment?
Yeah.
I remember I was on this Roy Woods video. The
There's
first
a
time I saw,
gorgeous shot of him, but there was some beautiful colors in that. Still, I wasn't too mad at that.
I remember
but
the
That's
first
never gonna
time-
come out. You
the
know,
first
what?
time-
I was gonna say that you show up ill prepared, even with Zach, doesn't mean you're getting a fire product.
Yeah,
There's
no,
so
yeah.
much
He's gotta
preparation.
love it.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, talking to Roy Woods, I was on a set, and this is the first time I seen him in person. So I'm working on the set, and I see this guy walk in. He's got this black trench coat. Everyone's there. He walks in this room, and he's got this black flowing trench coat and this fedora and these glasses, and he walks by, and I was like, fuck, he looks like the future. I'm a PA, or what is it? Personal assistant. Yeah, I'm a PA working away, and I'm like, fuck, he looks cool. And I was like, who's that guy? And then we ended up talking. So that's just my little story of the first time I ever seen Moo the God. I was like, fuck, this guy looks like he's like fucking just walked out of the future.
That is the most amazing description
Ever! He's like, that's
And
exactly
accurate,
what I was
and
going
accurate.
for.
Yeah,
You think it's accurate? Fuck that.
Yeah,
man.
no,
What's a day in the life of Zach Fax?
Well, what before or after?
Just
COVID?
like from right now. Right now.
Well,
Wait,
right
no,
now,
let's go before COVID, because
Yeah,
now
well-
sucks.
Well, now it's
That
interesting
sucks.
too because
When you're in
looking
your
for new
most
ways to-
when you're in your most
shit.
heavy season, from wake up to
Yeah.
bed, go day
Yeah.
of life, Zach Fax.
is definitely like either it's planning. So there's a lot of travel. First
Mhm.
of all, it's constant movement, and then it's basically planning. And then when you add in editing, then you start to layer that in. It becomes
Right.
like
You're
the
like
most introverted existence you've ever
ever.
seen.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you get into a zone? It's like, okay, I'm going up, I'm getting on the bus, and I'm gonna put in work on this, then I'm gonna get into editing, or it's just like wake up and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, like I used to be really good at multitasking. I think I've gotten worse at it
Right.
somehow.
How's that possible?
I don't know. I think
He needs to focus.
Well, I think I just like to be comfortable now. So my thing is
Right.
like why stress myself out. So I hate.
So you think it affects your level of work, right?
I think it might be trauma too from years of doing 4 or 5 projects in a week, right?
Right.
say-
Are you taking breaks?
Yeah.
Is there a break?
There are breaks now because as I've progressed, it's become
Right.
bigger and less.
You have
so
to
less is
set
more.
right.
As opposed to before, it was like trying to chase a ghost. Now it's just more about like just trying to figure out the kind of story I want to tell and then go tell it. Right.
You know, when you say 4 to 5 a year, that's like months of work on like one. Is that really how long it takes
No,
to do a
it's-
quality video? Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh no!
It's
I was
just-
saying like coming from like 4 to 5 a week, right? Like
Oh.
When you're shooting
when I was
video-
coming
He's literally
up, yeah.
Oh my
maxing himself
God.
out,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then that's
And-
when you have to take your break
Yeah.
because you've maxed yourself
Exactly.
out. You know what I mean?
And
Now
coming
you're just,
from like the next day edit return, you know,
Right.
like those gimmicks, you know.
It's
Yeah.
and it's nice too coming from those grinds, then getting on a project that has a real budget, and it's like, wow, this is nice.
yeah,
Lunch was great, guys.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like
Yeah,
super
you-
lax
Yeah.
and you
You
know,
appreciate
it's like
it.
you're appreciated where it's like coming up, it's like, oh man, you were so they'll make the artist rap on the thing, they'll pay the US guy tons of money, the Canadian guy will be rapping on the boxes, and it's like to be appreciated is an amazing feeling.
Oh,
you
I
know?
agree. I think
And how
every
does
artist
it
should-
and how does it
should.
feel now to be like, you know, your work to be recognized?
Well, I mean, I don't. At the end of the day, I think it's just like anytime that someone acknowledges it, it feels good. And I think my mind always goes to kind of what you just said. Is like, my first thought is, well, I wish everyone could experience that because like
serotonin.
Right.
because my mind's not too far removed and isn't from not being acknowledged
The
for it.
date. Right.
And it's still like it's not about acknowledgement. It's really about like how I feel about it at the end of the day, and that's how
Right.
you're gonna receive it.
Right.
So it's
right.
like if I don't feel I'm up to par, it doesn't matter how great you think I
yeah,
am.
you need and I feel like that really is what shows you're a real genuine creative, because if you're not a genuine like I know real genuine creatives, it's like I'd rather nobody touch it, see it, buy it. I know the artist that did the jacket for you. That was weeks and weeks, one of a kind. Like it was so intricate, and I was like, "No, trust me, the low life. You need to give it to Zach Fax."
Mhm.
And it was hard. It was a piece of a collection, and
I've never
but,
seen him so like attached to a piece of clothing.
but this is
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
amazing.
But,
I really
but as a
appreciate
Beautiful.
videographer, right? It's amazing to see you the same thing. Like if I don't love it, then it's not. You're not getting it. me, Zach Fax, you know, like I'm to the
Yeah.
point.
Shit,
It's and
that's a good point. I've been there again with you so many times. It's
Yeah.
like we both are not happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not coming out.
Right.
Yeah, if you're not
Sorry.
into it, it's done.
Yeah.
it can't
Doesn't
come.
matter.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so important to preserve art and the true creative.
So what you're talking about is good art, right? Like that's the thing. Like
No,
the
not-
difference between good art and like not
and I
having
mean
it. Like,
no,
you
and I know art's suggestive, but like I mean the true art when you can. Like when you watch, and I'm bringing up the low life video because it was, you know, I just noticed the views and it was a little bit of thing, but how it starts, it's just captured so beautifully.
Yeah, well, that was my first big budget video. That was the
Right.
first time I ever had money, and I remember not knowing what to do.
with
Like I
like,
remember
what do I? Right.
the producer had to
break
pull
that
me
down.
aside and be like, "Yo, you need to work with these guys because they're getting mad, like the gaffers and the grips and
Right.
and there was like PAs coming from every angle,
Right.
like,
And
"You
you-
good, bro? You want a coffee, bro?" And
Oh.
they'd be like, so, and I was just like so in my own world,
Right, as the director.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that even how that kid, shout out Lamar for giving me that opportunity. I
Right.
feel like that's what it comes down to. It's like those people believe in me early, you know,
Right.
and that's a great example of it. It's like why the F was I shooting that video?
Right.
Why with a FS 700, which at the
Right.
time
Right.
it isn't even like it's still now it's not, and it wasn't then, and
Right.
so it's like, you know,
And
so
that's-
shout out to them for really like that means more than anything for a creative is like someone to just believe in you,
Yeah.
and it can be anyone, but
Yeah.
at that level it
Yeah.
hits even harder,
Especially
you
at
know?
the beginning.
How do you feel as a creative? Did you ever feel like different?
Yeah, talk about your childhood and how it influences who you are now. Like, you know,
Because your bio's mad short.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
shout
hear it.
out, Cena, my manager,
So yeah,
for writing
yeah.
that.
No, that's good. Keep
One
it short
rating.
and saucy.
Right?
Keep it short and
Yeah,
saucy.
Yeah. No, I mean like my childhood, like I was raised by a single mom. Like I still had a dad in my life, but it was every second weekend.
Right.
I think that I was very introverted. I was actually talking to someone the other day about how one time my mom actually had to sit me down and be like, "Zach, you need to make some friends,"
Right.
because
Yeah.
I was like just in my own head, like really intensely, like. And I think since a kid, I've always had that. I've always been sort of imagining
Right.
these
And-
stories, right?
Like
And
there's
it
no such thing as
spirals.
boredom.
Yeah.
And as a kid, you know, as an adult, when my mind spirals,
Yeah.
I can talk it out of it. But as a kid, it's just spiral. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Or you're just your imagination is so powerful that you could live in it. You know,
Absolutely.
like you could just get lost in it and totally forget that there's anyone else around.
Did you ever have a feeling when you were young that like there's greatness, like you were gonna be great?
Well, I mean, I know. I mean, I still don't think that. But I mean, like, yeah, I definitely didn't think that. My thing was always just like do what your parents want you to do. You know, go
Right.
to school, get good grades, go
Right.
to college. And then when college came about and was like, you could be an audio engineer. You know, I was like, what?
That's
You know, and
Yeah.
then so I don't think I could foreshadow that. I think it was always I thought it was going to be way more stale,
right.
way more, you know, whatever degree. I don't want to say one and then someone gets offended, but
Right.
something
you're
like
allowed
that-
to offend anybody you want.
Yeah,
You
here.
thought like,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no shit.
you know, parents, they want you, you know, society wants you to become a lawyer, a doctor.
Yeah,
Of course,
something
your
like
parents
that.
want you,
something like that.
you know, but I
I have a
think,
question. Hold on.
Yeah.
And somebody else asked me this once, so I know it's a good one. Shot and Chopped by Zach Fax.
Shop, yeah. I'm all, like, you know, I don't really speak a lot, but that's one thing that I'm always vocal about because it kind of like tied it all together. Like I was never impressed with the videos I was making early on,
Right.
but I was always impressed with my branding. Like, and that
Yeah.
was one
And
thing
it's
that
tight.
yeah. So that was always, to me, it was just important, but it also is important in the sense that I feel like it encapsulates what that grind was.
Mhm.
It was so much more. And I realize that sometimes when people hear directed by Zach Fax,
right.
they can think a multitude of things. But I think that 9 times out of 10, it's just shot by Zach Fax.
It's shot and chopped.
Because directing is such an important job, and I think I value
Speak on that.
it. Well, I mean, just what a director does, like having the opportunity to be on some sets where they're like, you need to be a director today.
Right.
And my initial thought being, well, what the hell? I got to sit in a chair like while
Right.
everyone else has fun. And then actually stepping into that role and then realizing like when you free your mind from
Right.
all those little monotonous details, like what's my white balance, like what's my focal length, like
Right.
what is this rig to, like is it balanced, is it all
You
these,
fell in love.
and also, and then putting the lights, and then you start to think of just the story. You're the keeper of the story. Like,
That's
that is
amazing.
it, right?
Mm.
And so that's when I sort of was like, so that's why I value it so much.
Right.
Because
Right.
I'm like, you can't just say directed by Zach Fax and then present some girl shaking her ass on a car.
Right.
Like, how dare I direct
Oh,
that?
because
Right,
people will
right.
expect you to show up. They hire you, and it's like they want you to have a whole fucking storyboard and everything. Like, look, bud, you hired me to shoot and fucking
No, but
edit
even
it.
if they ask for that, I would be down for that.
Right.
The way the industry moves now is people don't always have time for that, and you gotta understand that sometimes people already have stuff in their mind, and that's cool too. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with that.
Right.
So in those and early on, that's very much what it was, because we weren't working with budgets.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they're like, Zach, here's this amount of money.
Yeah.
Bring your idea to life. It was like,
Out of
Zach,
pocket budget.
I got a car. I got a hotel room.
And $1,000.
I got this Airbnb. yeah. No, but not
seriously,
even,
right?
And that's going to editing and your rate. So it's like you gotta.
I feel like this
So
is
you've
deja
spent
vu. I hear
it
this from
does-
every videographer in Toronto.
and at that point, you've spent an entire day, night, $50 in gas, and you've got 3
Yeah.
days of editing. So it's like,
Exactly,
oh my God, I undercharged.
Yeah, exactly. But even that, so that's why I would say shot and shot, because it's like it's just like I want you to know that I did these things. I did do them
Right.
to the best of my ability. In no way do I think this is a story that I would want to tell. This does not. It's almost like when they say the views of the
Disassociating the brand
station,
almost.
the views of these people do not reflect those of the
Right.
station. It's like that. That's my disclaimer. That's
Right,
me.
right,
I
right.
have one of those
World
with
that-
you.
What?
With
Shot and chop?
yeah, with Jad Jones, Daniel Worthy.
Oh, Chad, those were the days. Life,
Yeah,
life, man.
yeah.
Uncle Brooks, shout
Uncle
out Brooks.
shout out Brooks. You know what I'm
still,
saying?
Now,
shout out the gang.
When it comes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
artists
Shout out
that
the
you
guys.
work with, will you work with, if they have the budget, or if they're really trash, will you say no?
Well, I do like to think that there's some quality control going on. I think that at a certain point I lose it if they're going through. If it's a case where you email me or you have my number,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really gonna I would judge it like that. I would be like, man, this is trash.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I can't sit on that. I can't sit here and act like I do that, because there's times where I have to take
Right.
projects because
Right.
Mm.
you'd
It's
be
a
an idiot,
business.
and it's
Like,
a
what are you
business.
talking
Right,
about?
It's a
Right,
business,
right.
You
yeah.
feel it's kind of like
So-
a lawyer, or it's like taking pro bono cases,
I love doing that. I'm doing stuff right now. I'm trying to learn 3D and all this new stuff because we're
That's
working
cool.
on an
Right.
upcoming project. And so
I
what
got
I've
some
done,
guys that might be able to help you, actually.
that's
That's cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So now I'm transitioning that into like I would say local guys, but people I've worked with in the past. So it's like, I have this other video that's coming up, and
Right.
because of it, I had to learn all of this.
Right.
And so now I want to take you and
Right.
I want to practice on you, and it's
Right.
like it's not going to cost you a thing. So
Right,
it's like
right.
it's as much as you could call it pro bono, it's not, because you're gaining so much knowledge.
And
I'm
I
gaining
feel
so much.
Yeah.
and I feel as a creative, to be able to profit off your work, you have to be able to just say, like, look, I'm a creative, but it's also a business, because this is what I love, so I'm gonna do certain shit for the work and the money, and that's
exactly.
just the way it is.
We got bills, right?
We got bills to pay.
I'm not
but
going to go work at Tim Hortons. So it's
right,
like,
let's
you know,
not be stupid
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to take
because
the job.
I know, like, certain creatives, they're like, so it's like, it's serious talks with, like, marketing. They're like, look, I know you're like a super eclectic creative, but we got to sell something,
Yeah.
and it's like super hard to
Yeah.
like, with certain creatives, it's like they're very into their work, and
But
it's
that's
like,
but that's the give and take. So when you also, because like you say, like the pro bono, again, coming back to like people without all that red tape, I guess you could say, like
Right.
they're more open to your ideas. So you
Right.
also gain access to that. People are more willing. I have a guy right now, I just call him and I spew random things about the 3D stuff I'm learning. He's just
Right.
like, all right.
Yeah,
sounds dope. Like he
That's
doesn't care. Just do it. Send it to me. Do it.
Right, right,
I can't
right.
wait to see it. So
yeah,
like,
exactly. And that's nice too, when you have a team of people, like at some point, the Zach Fax brand had to have realized that, like, this isn't just a me thing. Like, I'm going to have to build a team of people to take this brand to the next
And I have
level.
a great team now. That's one thing I want to say, because there's so much talk about Shot and Chopped and me doing it all by myself. I have a
Right.
great manager, Cena. I have great help, and Jonah Haber is fantastic. Helps me
Right.
on set.
Shout out the guys.
Yeah. Omar, who just
Ah.
did Takashi's. He was the art
Yeah.
director on Takashi's new video. I know I'm forgetting. Derek, he retired. He retired, but shout out Derek. You know, just
Right.
great team. You're
Right,
great.
right.
Good group of people.
Shout out Zach's team, yo. You
Yeah,
are-
shout out the team. Yeah.
Like, shout
Yeah,
out the team.
because-
great having them too.
And it's important for
Julian,
them-
Julian too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Julian. Hey, worked with Julian on the Safe video, and rest in peace, Smoke Dog. He's a great
Rest in
guy.
peace, Smoke Dog.
Amazing.
You'll never have more fire kicks than that guy.
Who, Julian?
Julian.
Yeah.
Stop. Nivea, right?
No, we're talking about different guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never-
he's
sorry,
a
sorry.
he's a DP
Shout out
that
Julian
I
Neal,
brought on
good guy.
because I don't ever bring on DPs. I'm always the DP, and
Right.
he's a
Yeah.
DP that I trusted with a couple of projects that and
And he's name them.
amazing.
Yeah, and then
What
it's
projects?
I don't want to name them because like the one really got screwed. It was the what was it? What are their names? Annuel. It was 3 of them. It was a big record. It was big. It was on Monday Night Football.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
It was huge. It was a huge record. It's actually got like over like probably low life views already.
Right,
It's
right,
been up for
right.
less than a year. But what happened was they a lot of things happened leading up to the shoot that I didn't like. So I was getting content that I wasn't happy with, but they still loved it. But then
Mhm.
they took the edit and they edited it. And
Oh,
then that's
shit.
where I drew the line. 'Cause
Yeah, no
Mm.
shit.
It was
that- Trash.
I don't want to say trash.
Okay,
but
right.
Was there a
butchered-
moment?
butchered.
Was there a moment in your career when it just like something changed and you were no longer the same guy anymore?
Same guy?
Like you knew,
Yeah.
like, hey,
The Zach fact that I knew was done.
Yeah.
I just
like
I'm gonna
this
have
is
to be a
going
new
bigger
guy.
than I. Like this is going
Was there a moment?
according to plans.
Well, I mean, I don't have a plan. I mean, so it's like
Might not have
you
been
know,
anticipated.
But like to be
right?
you wanted to be just like, even if it was focusing on being as great as you could be.
I'm still so hungry. It's
I
like I
know.
can't
Mm.
even stop and think of
Fact.
that. It's like
That's
I
a real
still so
entrepreneur.
much to do. Like it's like
Do you
so
feel you
much-
haven't climaxed yet?
Nah, because like I've got to direct. I've got to like be the keeper of the story. Like
Right.
that's what we're trying to do here. Like
That's
we
the
get so
whole point.
lost in the because I always say too, music videos are selling shampoo. They're like, we got to sell shampoo today.
Right.
And how do you sell shampoo? It's like it's not. There's different methods, but it's manipulated. It's
Yeah,
like if you're
it's all
just
about
telling
the
the story
feelings.
for the purpose and you're trying to get this message out, like it's different. And
Do you think it's possible in the music video genre to do that?
I think it is, and I think that because of little things like the fact that people look at me as an all-inclusive guy who could take maybe a budget that someone else just didn't know what to do with.
You
because
stretch it.
I remember
I-
your
I can
vlog
stretch it.
videos in Jamaica.
Hold on. You just
It
said
was
something.
like-
he
He
just
found
said
it.
something
He found-
super important.
You stretch.
You know what he said? I can take a budget and stretch it. And let me tell you, that's how
Efficiency,
my
ladies and
marketing,
gentlemen.
Yeah.
that's how I
Efficiency.
make good money on my marketing. You know why?
Yeah, break
because
that
I'll
down.
take a fucking, this is what I do. Everyone asks me, what do you want? I say, you tell me what you're comfortable with. And I take that budget and break it down across all platforms so you build.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for 20 years. I can just stretch a budget like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
I offer,
But
Peop-
you can also do multiple jobs, right?
well, I'm
Because it's not as simple as just I can figure out.
Oh
how
my
to-
God.
To dumb the numbers, it's
If
like
I
I did a lot of.
if I
work
didn't
to
put the
learn these
20
things,
years footwork in, I wouldn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you gave me this opportunity 3 years ago, we wouldn't be sitting here. Like everything, it's so important. Like everything has to come in time when it's time to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you do
But
mushrooms?
I used to, yeah, but
Did
not
they-
anymore.
I
Did they
have not
affect
found-
positively your
It's-
career?
It's so funny. I was just up north location scouting. The person I was with was like, "Yo, you want to take some mushrooms?" And I was like, "Man," because the last experience I had was a
Bad
bad trip.
Oh,
where was
Really?
it? Go. Tell us
Oh,
about it.
man, it was-
Sorry, we gotta
Tell
bring
us.
this
Nah,
up.
that was it. Was like high school, but it was like we were at some like rave party in the woods, and my friend who I did it with he started his bad trip first, and he took off and he got lost.
So you're like, fuck.
And so I'm going through the woods trying to find this guy.
As
And it
it's-
was just
Okay,
the
this is-
energy of that. And then
So-
we found a cliff and we found his hat like a movie.
So
like
did you
walk
fi-
up to a cliff and you see his hat on a rock.
You're like, fucking
And
no
you're like-
fucking
you look
way.
at that, you're like, no.
So
you
where?
know?
So where'd you find him? Carry
Yeah,
on.
we
I want
found
to
him.
find out
Yeah,
the whole
we
night
found him.
because the
No,
trip doesn't stop,
You know
right?
what gets crazy
No.
is like
Right.
you go through this whole experience of searching for him, falling, breaking stuff, like going through this emotional trauma.
Whole
You
movie.
get back to the party and he's there drinking by the
You're
fire.
like, you
know? It's
fucking
like, yeah.
idiot.
So
The
that
whole
that was,
time.
and it was just and then my
So then
night
from
was
then,
shot.
were you driving at the time?
No,
or
it was
did you
like it was like a camp party. Like you can't. I think I slept in the front seat of some car.
You're
know?
like,
It was
I'm
one
out.
of those, yeah.
So as soon as
Th-
you
well,
see
hold
him,
on.
you're out.
You
You're
want
out.
to know what the segue is?
What?
Marijuana.
Marijuana. I love marijuana.
Oh, damn it. It's
Yeah.
been there every time.
What's the segue?
That's it. Just talk about
Oh, marijuana. Yeah.
Oh, you just
Shout out
pulled,
Strains.
like,
Shout
just
out
pull it.
Strains.
God bless
Shout out
America.
Oh, yeah.
Strains.
Shout out
Oh,
Strains,
yeah,
our
yeah.
guys.
Shout out
You know, they
Strains.
make sure all our artists are held down. And, you know, one thing about... Oh, sorry.
It's
Don't
hard.
let me ramble. What was the question?
like
We
your
were getting
rambling.
into something good.
Marijuana. That
No,
was
I
the
want-
question.
I-
you
the
know-
That
lab.
was the question.
No, because
marijuana.
I know you to be a connoisseur.
Yeah, something like
tapes?
that.
Has it added to your relaxation or creativity, or has it? know?
Well, you know, I struggle with it because I love it. I smoke so much of it. I smoke it all day. I often wonder, like, you know, what could I offer if I didn't smoke so much, or do I need to smoke more? You know, these are the questions that
Right.
often cross my mind. But
Very stoner questions.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I love weed. For me, it's been a necessity because like editing gets monotonous. There's so many
Right.
monotonous things that you're just like, man, I gotta smoke. Like rendering, I can't imagine not smoking
Right.
and rendering. I don't
And
know
then
what
that's
I do.
it's almost like
You know?
becomes a part of like your ritual, like me with driving. It's like if I've got a drive to do to
Yeah.
Toronto, it's like I must find a spliff. Like
Oh,
we're
for
not
sure.
leaving.
Or drive to
like
Aurora?
I'll try. Oh my God! So Zach Facts.
Too soon.
Oh
Too
shit!
soon.
No,
So
no.
I say
No,
I
no.
say the
I felt
address.
so
I
bad.
say the address, right? And I'm like, yeah, how you go? He's like, yo, I'm here. I think I'm here. I'm like, what, at the 1-2? He's like, Aurora, right? I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, I don't even want to tell him where. We're not going to disclose where we are, but I was like, I don't even want to tell him where the fuck we are right now.
And
But we
you
were
know what
not
the best
I
part of
knew
the
it.
story?
Wait,
is?
wait, wait,
what's the best part of the story?
I left from Hamilton.
Oh my.
Wow!
With-
Spoiler fucking alert!
Right. And then so I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh damn, like because I know when it comes to this and you grow up and you're doing it, time is the most important. So I'm like, fuck, I wasted an hour of Zach Fac's time.
No, I'm quarantine life. No, you're good.
You know, like, but I know it's just like fuck.
We're
it's
so
like,
happy to have you here, man.
Oh,
This is
man.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm
Thanks,
happy
Zach
to-
Facts,
How was
the
your
abs-
drive?
Happy I got the right address.
How was your drive?
So from
Yeah.
Aurora.
Yeah.
So that was a big. So you know what? That sucks.
I thought you were gonna
But
say something.
but he pulled through. Oh, was she saying something?
Yeah, I thought you were
Oh,
gonna
I
say
asked
something.
him how his drive was.
Yeah, how was your
great.
drive?
I love
Like-
Canada. I love being in Canada.
Yeah.
Fire
Enjoy.
statements.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
yeah.
Canada. I love being in
I got some
Canada.
Tim Hortons, you know.
Right.
Dope.
This
We
is
got a
Canadian
little double
things,
double.
yeah.
Might be a steep tea with 1 milk, 2 sugar if it's past 8.
Right.
I'm just playing, but not really.
You ever try to
I know
explain
you're
Tim
good at
Hortons to
that.
a non-Canadian?
Yeah, well, I mean, the best is like when you're in New York, right? And you cross that one in Times Square, and you're like, "Yo, we should get a coffee." It's dope because you can explain something to someone,
Does a
and
double taste the same?
it tastes like crap there.
It's
So it's like
good.
so
Oh,
you
that's
sit there
terrifying.
hyping it up. You're like, no, we gotta go in this.
it's
We gotta go
trash.
in, and it's trash. And like, what are you doing to me, bro? Like that's or you make a long excursion to
yeah,
get
it's
to
just
that.
like, no, I
Tim
need a
Hortons.
Timmy's. Like, just run me by the Timmy's. That's all I'm
Yeah.
asking. And it's like super trash. And you're like, fuck.
But I find if you're in like border towns, they already know. They're like,
already
oh,
know.
it's Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
double
right.
double.
They're used
Right.
to it,
You're
yeah.
like, what? You know? Yeah, it's a roll of the dice for sure.
Right.
I got a machine. I make macchiatos now.
Right.
So
Ah.
steam the milk.
Right.
And I
Right.
figured out the hard way that a macchiato is milk first.
right.
Yes, definitely.
You know, and so and a cappuccino is the opposite.
and
which
and just like a danky spliff in the morning.
yeah, I've been trying to.
That's beautiful.
my new thing is like trying to see how long I can go without smoking. That's been my new sort of challenge. is
Yeah, I let
what
go
have
of
you
that.
found thus far?
that I suck at it.
It's
You know, like
What's the longest you've gone in this?
Well, I mean, if I had more shit to do, I mean, because like there's only so much you can do, and when you have this much free time and you're pre-planning, you end up with so much free time. So I think the longest I got was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that was the record.
And we're smoking one.
Yeah.
Are your Facebook rants good for your personal mental health?
Yeah, they feel good. Yeah, because I've discovered you can just delete them. Like I never thought
Yeah.
of that before. It's like just let it out and then delete it. I don't know why I look to it.
Do you feel people are being duped
duped
by the government?
But no, I mean, like for me, it's like I just wish that they look. It's just frustrating the fact that it could have been contained. We can sit here and argue all day,
And
about-
I'm not even talking about COVID
I agree with you.
No,
necessarily.
I want to hear this point. I want to
Okay,
hear
yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
No,
yeah,
it,
because it's
just,
an
it
interesting
could have
point.
been. It could have been contained. Like you're talking about CBC, for instance. They
Exactly.
had a documentary on January 28th about this damn virus.
Right.
It's like, and you can even go back before that. So it's like that's when it gets frustrating. It's like you could have just contained this.
And what-
And then we could sit here and debate about is it deadly? Who does it affect? And study it in a room somewhere.
Even the public knew that the border should have been
But
closed.
see, this is the
before.
thing,
though.
You know
If
what
you
I mean?
look-
Like,
if
it's-
you look
that's
in-
what I mean. So if you
40,000
contain that, you
people
started
coming in
that.
still.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Crazy.
But if you
Craziness.
do some fact checking, and I'm trying, super not going to be like conspiracy theorists, but you know,
Sure.
the patent of it is owned, and so is the vaccine already owned many years ago.
Well,
So I don't understand where this whole like we're waiting
But
for
where's
this
the
magical
fact check?
well,
vaccine.
no,
Say
the
that-
UAT. So I'm listening to a fucking. Sorry, I don't know. It's
Those
No,
facts
it's
are
fine.
okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
our-
yeah.
I was listening to some fucking
we
other
were
radio
listening to
station. No, so this UAT guy comes on. He says we have the cure.
Right.
They have the cure for COVID. I hear this yesterday. So I tell a friend, and they're like, I didn't hear this. So they go Google it. So they find all this information on this guy. He's a prominent researcher at University of Toronto, which
Right.
we all know is not a third-rate institution.
No, shout out.
Just in
Very
football.
difficult to get in.
And it's a very reputable,
Exactly.
very
Very-
reputable school.
So he has a cure. And we're sitting there like, well,
What
why
the
doesn't no
problem?
one else talk about this? And it's like, and then the first thing we start talking about is big pharma and how people are controlling those. And it's true. And as much as I'm not a conspiracy theorist,
Right.
if there's money to be made, that's not a conspiracy. That's
No.
just obvious.
And did
Someone's
you
gonna
hear about
jump
the
at
other
it.
guy from the big
Yeah.
university in Philadelphia? He was on a big brink of a big breakthrough. You know, everyone loved him, and someone came and shot him dead in his apartment. Then went into their car and shot themselves in the head.
Well, I think that was a
Jesus.
domestic dispute. Just
Yeah,
to
like,
be, just
that
to play
doesn't
devil's
seem-
advocate.
Right.
Yeah,
Just to
that
play
had to
devil's
have
advocate.
been like if you said if.
All I'm
I think it
It
was separate.
seems like.
But
if-
you're
it just
right.
it seems like okay, this is the thing though, like you go like it's like boom, they showed the video, it's like so calm, cool, boom, 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 then you go boom, boom, back into your car and do that, like why the fuck are you gonna I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? Do we have a cure for cancer? Yes or no?
Of course.
100%.
Okay. Do we have
And
a cure
it's
for COVID?
organic.
Yes or no?
Sorry,
You
sorry.
see, there's how it's like we have cures.
Yeah,
But,
no, I agree.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how
They
rich
made
are
Look,
we?
how
it would
much?
be very discouraging if that ever came out, that there was a cure this whole time. One's got to hope that, I don't get it either. That's the other thing too, because
Puzzling.
they
Makes
haven't
no sense.
they haven't cured SARS. SARS isn't cured.
And it
you
killed
know?
way more for the record, it killed way more people than Corona. and
No,
they didn't
SARS
shut
killed
you-
less.
Oh,
SARS killed
which
7.
Yo, we've got to stop this medical discussion in this corner. We've
MD,
got to shift back
MD
to
Warren.
music because it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, I
Very.
really enjoy whatever you're doing online because apart from the algorithm throwing you at the top of my thing every morning,
Yeah.
I get the sense that you're just speaking your mind with very little like filter. It's like no filter talk.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a chance. I guess I don't know. It's good to rant about things, but it's also good just to gauge at where people are at. I think that especially in these days, like I don't post on Instagram. I never go on that shit, and it's not because I don't like it. It's because I just feel like it's gratuitous. Like if I have something to share, I'll share it. But telling you when I'm eating isn't necessary.
Yeah.
I think that because of COVID, because of the situation, I've been way more active because it's like you need that outlet, and it's like it's also different now because you're not gonna call your homie and talk and rant
just
about
changed.
it because they don't want to hear about it anymore. No one wants to hear about
Do you
it.
feel like super
Mm.
alone sometimes as like a creative and just like, sometimes you sit there and it's just like you feel like fuck, you can't the way conversations have gone, it's like you don't call people anymore. And it's like, it's
text. Everyone text.
I remember like I'm so old that I remember when texting came in and I was like, I'll never text. If I got something to say, I'm not gonna text for 45 minutes and then I'll just call them quick.
Yeah.
And now it's like
A must.
you won't get me to pick up my phone.
Yeah.
Like unless it's
No, man,
you know what I'm saying?
I prefer it, to be honest. People always get on me. They're like, Zach, you don't text back or blah, blah. Because, like, it's like I do get a lot of texts. I've had the same number since high school.
Yeah.
Right? So I get ridiculous amounts of even spam texts. Like,
But where are you gonna put your energy?
What do you mean? In what
That's what I
sense?
mean. Like when you get all these texts, because I know I do that, and it's like,
Oh, but I would prefer the phone. I would
Right.
prefer if you just called me, like, instead of me typing it out.
Right.
Now, that's my thing. I almost don't text out of protest. It's like, yo, just
Right.
call
I'm
me.
kind of like that too. I
Yeah.
kind of go out of my way to make sure that I'll use my phone, and I don't text very often. People do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you messaging me back? Well,
Call.
if I heard that my phone rang, I'd pick it up.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna
exactly.
go and every time my phone buzzes,
Yeah.
whether it be Facebook or whatever else, I'm not gonna go and pick
Yeah,
it up and see what
ESPN
my
50
phone's
times
doing. I got shit
Yeah.
to do today.
right?
No, real talk.
You know what I
So-
mean?
What are you listening to outside of rap?
Outside of rap, right now, I
And
mean,
then we'll get to rap.
Well, I've been listening to a lot of old stuff. So even when we were location scouting, we were listening to like old alternative music, like Matthew Good and
Okay, that's a vibe still.
man, my memory's so shot right now. I could go through my play like
Yeah, why not? Well, it's okay.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
to some
I mean-
content. Yeah, let's see what we got here.
see what we got in the
You know what?
playlist.
Obama publishes his like yearly playlist.
Oh yeah,
What did he put?
I mean, Daniel Caesar.
I need
makes
to
it
follow
every year.
that. I need to get
sure.
on
Made
that.
it?
Like
Daniel
ASAP.
Caesar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's up
Okay,
there.
so we got some Nirvana, some
Okay,
Red Hot
fire.
Chili Peppers, some
Okay.
Billy Joel,
Yeah,
some
that's a
Brand
vibe.
Van
That's-
3000,
Mm.
Drinking in LA, baby.
You
Let's
gotta
get
have
it.
those joints.
some Doobie Brothers, some
Okay.
Souls of Mischief. Like this thing's just wild. Some Jim Croce, some
That's
Pep
awesome.
Love.
Does the match algorithm at the end of the Spotify help you make these little playlists?
I don't have Spotify.
How are you listening to those?
That's just what music I downloaded over time on my Apple, on my iTunes.
Oh,
Oh,
iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're an
Apple
iTunes
Music.
man.
Yeah, I'm just a basic, like,
Yeah.
I like this song. Download it, put
Yeah.
it in the playlist.
Right.
type
Now
of
that's
thing.
just out of and what that is because that's how I started using streaming because out of I always used
Habit.
Apple products. So that was how you got music. You had it in your iTunes, you transferred
Right.
it to your iPhones.
Oh, it used to be a process.
right. And then so
Process.
so
For all
that's
you
why I
little
had
kids out there
iTunes.
that don't know,
Yeah.
the process
Oh,
was
yeah.
huge.
Oh my god, yeah,
You
like
Still
didn't pay
expecting it. I'm like,
$13.99
where's
to be
the
able to
process?
search
Yeah.
your song.
yeah, your first MP3 had like it fit like 4 songs and
All
you
that-
replayed them.
All the underscore,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Oh,
And you're
oh,
playing
I got a
games,
great
the
question for you.
MP3.
What is the longest you've spent on a computer downloading an MP3? And this
Oh,
this
back
question
in
is
the day?
open. Yes.
LimeWire?
Oh, man,
I
like,
love
Shout out
it.
LimeWire.
I love
FTP
Today,
even.
Nap-
It depended
yeah,
on how
Napster.
many messaging apps I had open at the time. So MSN or ICQ.
Yes.
Oh.
AOL.
That
AOL
would
Messenger.
definitely slow down the download speed.
on
But
dial-up.
yeah, the thing is, like, I remember so many times like canceling and going and picking another one, canceling because you just wait
the
to see if that
files.
initial
Ah.
connection hit, right?
And
Lime
also
Wire.
Get 'em all going to
to
pause
track
some
the
of them,
rate,
right?
to see if it's going fast or if it's slow,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You're
You'd
just like-
get
I think there
one-
was some indication, like they had a speed next to it. I can't remember. It's been so
Didn't
long.
it switch
but-
color? Didn't the bar switch colors depending on how
Something,
fast?
yeah.
It was?
So when you were
Yeah,
young,
yeah.
were you Napster or were you going to LimeWire?
I think I did both. I think
feel
I
like that was
followed
a
the
progression,
natural
right?
evolution. Yeah,
Of
I think
it,
it went
yeah.
Napster to LimeWire.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Kind of
and
BlackBerry to iPhone.
What
type
happened
thing, you know
after
what I mean?
LimeWire?
I used Kazaa actually.
No, that's when
Anybody know
everything
about
started.
Kazaa?
YouTube.
Kazaa was fire.
Kazaa was
Yeah.
where I was at. I thought
That's
LimeWire
where
was
it was, like-
insane.
What happened after LimeWire?
YouTube,
Did I
and then it was
disappear?
downloading the MP3s from YouTube or onto an audio file. I still do torrents, like to this
Oh,
day.
yeah, torrents for
You know what I
fun.
mean? Like, I download
I
all
purchase all my files.
No way,
That's
yeah, like every day
Me
I
too.
make sure I put
Me
it.
too. Shout out Adobe.
Yeah,
Put-
no, I pay for
Adobe. Yeah, no, Adobe's
Yeah.
a must. Like that's not going anywhere. Like
Yeah,
that's
Right.
Plus, they got you on the cloud. You can't like. I'm sure you can hijack it, but now it's been. Full disclosure, I used to hijack it. Now I pay for it because
You
it,
We've
gotta
all
be
been
so
there.
careful.
Oh yeah, I still have to
You
like I
gotta-
still have my outlets.
However-
I pay for that I support, and that's where I come from. I come
Yeah.
from more of a support thing in certain aspects. So like I'll go for more of the underdog,
yeah,
and I'll
true,
go
true.
and pay and make sure that I'm still
You still
getting
like
my
the-
music that way. But like when it comes to fucking movies, oh my god, I can't help myself.
You still like to get an album and open it and look at the cover on the inside, or do you not care?
Vinyl's
Like
something I've gotten into.
It's come back.
Vinyl's
big.
huge, yeah.
But I busted out my record player during quarantine. I pulled out all this
Right.
old vinyl. There was a time when I used to just collect vinyl because
Right.
I was an audio engineer, and you never know when you need a sample.
Right.
So, I just collected vinyl, and I started breaking it out the other day and just playing it. And just the other great thing about it is it runs like in such a beautiful analog way, like where it's just like
So
a linear
real.
way where it's just like
Captivating.
constant. No, but
Yeah.
even just the pain to rewind is not worth it. You're
Right.
going forward.
You're going forward.
no matter what.
The momentum is
Yeah.
kept up.
So you're on this journey, and I think there was more of an onus on the
Of the
artist. This is
music.
my philosophy.
Right.
More of an onus on the artist to structure an album, to have an album flow in a certain way so you can make
Right.
it to the B side.
Right.
Because it could die right
Ooh,
there.
Yeah, and like when you listen to that older stuff, like the stuff I was raised on, and it was just like those old Led Zeppelin songs and shit that are like 13 minutes, and it's like you listen to those, and it's like you'll get wrapped right in, like it's a whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Story.
These songs then
That's what
are
I mean,
it's
they're
just so
productions.
different,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Do you
it-
notice this warmth difference?
What, in here?
No, like
Is
Is
it
it cold in here? How you feeling?
No, it's
You want me to
fine.
turn that down?
No, it's
All
fine.
right,
It's
yeah.
fine. I was like, no, I'm good.
do you notice this like warmth on the vinyl?
Oh,
you
analog
know?
versus digital,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
And look, we do that in video now too.
Yeah.
We're always craving because it's more pure. It's pure, like
Yeah.
I said,
Natural.
splicing tape.
Natural tones,
Yeah, you
It's
know
very,
what?
it's a more mechanical process. Like it's just it's I don't know. It's life. It gives it energy.
You know what's crazy? I think it's cyclical. I think that at some point we are going to go back.
Go
to
back,
like,
yeah, we do it.
it
It's like
goes-
Benny the Butcher. Like, thank God hip hop's back.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
Shout out
Benny
Buffalo,
the
New
Butcher.
York. Shout out
That's
Buffalo,
super close.
yo.
That's
Yeah.
super close.
That's
Straight
our
up.
hood
And
too.
you know what's
like-
40
true?
minutes
It's
away.
it's true. Like my whole life, I'm
Yeah.
36. My whole life, I wanted to play the piano. So just recently, in my new pad, I got a piano, and like when I hear a song that I love, I go and learn it now on the piano, and it's like
different.
I.
You can physically
It's
feel
like,
it.
oh my god, like yeah. No, it's so
No.
beautiful.
That's such
It
a great
is
point.
so
I'm gonna tell you
beautiful.
something.
No, because
I was at home and my son goes, "Dad, we need a piano," and I pointed at the MIDI, and then he goes, and then he goes, "No, the one at Jesse's house."
because we were playing.
Remember? Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I was there
What
And
kind of
too.
piano you got?
You know what? It's an old one I got for free off
Dope. That's
Kijiji,
what's
and
up,
then I
man.
got a guy to come in and tune it. And
Very-
this is my day.
very
I wake
resourceful.
up,
That's
I wake
crazy.
up, make my coffee, spliff, 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
and I start playing on my piano, and it's just you can touch it so soft, and it's like as a musician and creative, it's like, ooh, this is
Therapeutic.
It's like it's so raw, and
It's
it's
very
like
important in the
very
morning.
like the piano is just so classic. So
Right.
it's like
Sound,
these
yeah.
keys, and then you play like little bits of classic, like the John Lennon songs and shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
You know,
it's
there's
re-
something you
getting
said
back
about
to,
that
like,
in
the
between,
essence.
like that in between that separates like, like a beat that doesn't have all the underling stuff. It's just the top stuff, a video that's just lacking, like the
Yeah.
in between stuff is really where all the good stuff is.
Yeah.
In that fuzz, in between the spectrum.
Yeah.
if you can capture that magic.
So my question, I guess, is a lead up to where do you see like filmmaking going for like now and in the future?
Well, I hope it continues to be about cinematography. I think the one thing that worries me is like I love cinematography. Like I love studying it. I love knowing the rules and I love breaking the rules. And my thing is like I hope it sticks to that. I
Right.
think that there's a lot of pressure. Even now I'm learning 3D for this new video, which is
Right.
cool, which is fine. I find myself lighting scenes and sets in a computer now, which is like
Do you enjoy the learning process?
I do. I enjoy learning,
And
but,
what I'm
um,
hearing is a fear of like you don't want it to become totally obsolete. Like you want to still.
I don't want to get it
capture.
just so far away from splicing
Right,
film, I guess.
right,
I mean,
right.
we're already so far away. It's like it's getting like we're talking about automation and stuff. It's
Right.
like, it's
right.
it's crazy.
It's
So do you feel we'll need more people like you, or because of automation we'll need less?
I think we'll need less. I mean, Elon Musk said it. He said AI is going to outpace us. Like we have to learn how to integrate it, and I think that that's just the reality of the situation. Everyone gets affected. The number one industry that's going to get affected is drivers. Like because their electric cars are coming first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to be able to run that, and that's another topic, the 5G. Because if
I-
you don't,
5G,
if,
yeah.
if you
There
don't
we go.
have, if you
It's
don't
all
have the
5G's
powerful,
fault.
if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah. All of
know,
it.
but if you don't have the powerful, I got my good friend, you've met him. He installs the 5G, and he said, "What do you talk?" I was like, "Come on, talk on the show. Where are these towers?" He's like, "Where are the towers? They're on everybody's side of your fucking house."
See? What?
I'm like, nobody knows that. Nah, right there. He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
see
you
that
just
bell
proved that
box
your
right there?
point.
That's
yeah.
that's everybody's
Oh.
got a 5G, so
5G's
we're
been around.
fucked.
Yeah,
No,
5G's
sorry,
It's
sorry.
already connected.
Wait,
No,
not
but it's
us,
been
we're not-
around. They installed it last year.
Last
Yeah.
year,
Right,
that's
right,
old
right.
news. Like, but I had a
They had a beautiful
No, but
picture with
it's
all
just
the
like people
dots
realize
connecting
it at that
throughout the
point.
city. Like,
No, they haven't activated the 5G here yet. Anyways, fuck all,
Yeah,
fuck all that,
yeah.
fuck all that. Anyways, we got Zach Fax in the building.
I had a great question for you. We have Zach Fax in the building. I'm gonna finish your sentence there.
yeah.
Damn.
Moo, you
Now that
lose
I
it?
finished your sentence,
Did
as
you
you're
lose
blowing
it?
the smoke in my face, I'm not gonna remember anything now.
Oh my god.
It's the 5G.
It's the 5G.
It's the
It just
5G.
fried your fucking brains.
Completely wiped my memory.
Anyways,
Okay.
we got Zach Fax in the building. This is Rapt Media. Shout out the guys, and check the links in the description. Shout out the GOAT.
Oh, what do you got coming up in 2020?
Oh well, right now it's survival. And then so we have a
Check.
video. We have a video coming up in a couple. Well, it's supposed to be this week, and then because of COVID, there's some restrictions. So
Right.
and then we're working on a documentary that I mean, like we've been working on it for a while. It's a pretty big story. I can't really get into who it's about, but if I said it, you know, it definitely is something that
Possible
I hope.
you could hint.
No, fuck a hint. But
Yeah.
you
I
love
can't
it
have an NDA.
because if you love it,
Yeah, I love
then
it.
you
I
know
love
it's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing.
So for people who don't know,
Everything's
what's an NDA?
An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, so I cannot disclose the nature of the documentary because of the talks that are ongoing
Right.
right now with other companies,
Right.
and there's worry that if I said something, someone else would jump on it. So
Ah,
And when you,
I got the question. In Europe, they're doing like you know how over here they can catch the audio, right? And then you can't unlicensed audio; it'll just catch in the YouTube. In Europe, they've done it so that visually you can copyright like and you know intellectual property visual stuff. So there's
Yeah,
censors
for sure.
for visual too.
For sure.
And I'm sure you've read about that.
yeah.
What do you think about that possibly coming to North America? And then it's like you can't even use a font, you can't use a picture because it, you know, because of the copyright situation.
Well, I mean,
You think
I
that's
feel
good?
well, isn't it? It kind of already feels like that. You know, I feel like everything's getting more restrictive. I was even downloading like hair follicles for a 3D model, and they were telling me you can't use these. You can't put these out. And I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell would they ever know? You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's
what's
like,
the tracking system?
Yeah,
You know, and
exactly.
it's
But
like-
they say that, and I'm like, well, then if even if there is checks and balances, what's the point of even saying that? So it's like
Right.
you run into that. I feel like everyone's trying to charge you for something now. Like everybody.
100%.
yeah, it's really become a shitty thing, and but it's a real
So
like
you're
double.
you're anti. Everybody wants to charge for every
No,
little.
I'm-
no, not who Zach.
No,
No,
you
I-
just said like everybody's charging.
because
And
this
you-
is
no,
the-
no. You said everybody's charging.
They
Do you
are.
agree? Well, yeah.
But I'm not anti-charging. It's just like I feel like it's already like that. But I feel like the numbers are ridiculous. I'll say that. Like if anyone cares about that, you know what they expect you to pay
Right.
is pretty much insane. You know what I mean? But then you get the foot. Actually, no, it is. It's damn
So
right.
do you
insane.
do you think it's one of those things where it bottlenecks creativity? Like if you're gonna get, it's just how do you be creative, right? Without playing around with the tools.
Well, I think if you're in a position where you have to, you're purchasing those things, then you're probably in a bad situation, and you should probably re-examine how you got to that point. You know, because like even now, stock footage is taking off because we can't shoot, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
if you're searching for stock footage, it means you didn't get the shot. If you're searching for something that's copyright or owned by another creative that you're trying to
Right.
implement into yours, then you know you should probably think of ways to bypass that in the future and be more involved in its creation,
Right.
because that's only going to help the product, right?
I mean,
But I
thanks for
realize
that,
they-
Jem, because see, that's, you know that, and you're saying that, but
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
a lot of people cannot process that
Yeah.
level of your art. And I think, again, shout out to you for coming through. Shout out for, you know, blessing us with this opportunity, because I know you're
Thanks
a
for
rare
having
guy.
me.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's just a blessing to be able to talk to an artist who really, really does so well. You know, and we all admire your work. You know, I love your work.
Thank you, man.
And it's been an
Admire you
honor
guys
working
too.
with you in the past, and I
Yeah,
know
same.
Jesse's worked with you as well.
Yeah.
And it was a pleasure having you
Yeah,
here, bro.
Zach
Like,
Facts,
yeah.
absolute
Thank you so
legend
much for
in the
having
GOAT.
me.
Yeah, let's get it.
Anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Rap Media signing out, man. Check us out on YouTube. All the links will be here. We'll be back next bat time.
Same back time.
Same
Same
bat
time
YouTube
next
channel.
time.
Peace.
You know what I mean.
Boom. Yeah.